Hey everyone, and welcome to the Cricket Corner. This is your podcast episode number 6. It's 24th of July. I've got the month right this time, Aaron. I'm joined by Aaron again, and today it's raining in London. The summer is here. Finally, we can talk about how bad the weather has been here in London, and it's finally affected a cricket match, and the English people are really annoyed about it.
I don't know, when there's test cricket in England, there's always rain coming with it.
Yeah, apparently the reason there's 5 Ashes test matches is because before there were 4, but because of the rain back, quite a few years ago, they decided to make it 5 test matches. So
maybe they need to move the tests in the winter.
Yeah.
So
there are lots of different options we can use, and we're going to come to the Ashes 4th test match later on today, but we've got a lot to cover off. Have you been on a holiday last week as well?
No. Holiday's finished, man.
Holiday's finished.
Yeah.
We'll be back to a regular schedule here. This is week number 6 for us, 6th episode. We really hope you're enjoying it. We hope you're enjoying the clips that we've been putting out as well.
Yeah.
We've been getting great, recognition and views on the shorts that we're putting out on YouTube and Instagram. So that's quite nice to see.
Yeah, it's good. There was a lot of interest, people asking questions and reacting on our reels. So it's good.
What was the most interesting comment that we've got so far?
It was related to the pay.
The pay quality.
Yeah, the pay quality with
men's and women's, yeah. And what did the comment say?
The comment said, "How this is equality."
We can track that comment down to probably a particular nation, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of reaction as well, and I got a lot of good feedback.
So that's good. Thank you, everyone. We'll continue try and do that. We'll hopefully have a few more interesting points that we can do that with this podcast as well. Shall we get into it?
Yeah, let's go.
What's the first thing you want to talk about?
First thing, there's a T20 qualifier ongoing in Europe.
There was a World Cup qualifier literally last month. What's going? That T20 is not even until next year. So what is this tournament? And it's a European one, right? So
yeah. So the one they played in Zimbabwe, it was the World Cup qualifier for the 50 overs cricket, which is happening in India this October. This qualifier is for the T20 World Cup, which happens in the West Indies
next year.
Yeah. So this is the qualifier is done by region.
Yeah.
So this is the European qualifier. So you got teams like Ireland, Scotland, Italy, Jersey, Germany, and Austria playing this competition.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, there's some really mixed group of teams there.
Yeah.
And I looked at the score for one of the matches that happened, and Scotland got 230 odd runs and Italy got 97 runs. But then you told me that that Italian team has a lot of players playing in the county cricket circuit.
Yeah, they got a lot of players from the county circuit. They got Grant Stewart, who's playing for Kent. They got as well Madsen, who's playing for Derbyshire, and some few other players who play either professional or semi-professional cricket in Australia.
Yeah.
And
they somehow found their Italian heritage.
Yeah, Italian heritage, or by marriage, they get the Italian passport as well.
Right.
Their captain is Gareth Berg, who's known in the county circuit.
In the county circuit, right?
And he's the player coach for the Italian team. And the German team as well, they have 1 or 2 players who played county cricket.
It's not bad cricket by any means, right? It's the standard of cricket is very high.
Yeah, it's a good standard, Scotland, they just beat the West Indies
easily.
Yeah, and they qualified for the 50 overs World Cup. So yeah, good standard, and it's also good to see that ICC giving opportunities to like smaller countries like Austria, Germany, Jersey, to be able to participate and Italy to this kind of competition. And there's a dream for them one day to play in the World Cup with the big boys. Yeah.
So who gets so the top 2 teams qualify for the World Cup automatically? Because there was a tournament that happened previously that you were saying where France, your team, was playing in the tournament, and only the top 1 team from that tournament went through to this round?
There were some regional tournaments.
Right.
So I think there was 10 teams in each of the tournaments, and the winner joined this qualifier. So in our group, Austria qualified. In another group, Denmark won, and in another group, Italy won.
Italy won, yeah.
And Germany and Jersey, they were higher in the rankings already, so they were kind of
pre-qualified already, alongside obviously Ireland and Scotland, who are very good teams.
Yeah.
That's pretty good to hear. Who I guess a couple of interesting points here. It's great to see, like you said, ICC are giving out opportunities to countries in Europe and expanding the game. The reach of the game is expanding, certainly. There's also some videos going around about the European Cricket League and some horrible cricket being played. So I don't want people to mix the cricket that's going on at the highest level with the European Cricket League, which also, maybe you can tell us a little bit, is also growing handsomely. And you know, it has a lot of publicity, and you know, it's set up live streams and people can easily watch it, so that's fantastic to see as well. But the levels are
different,
are very different.
Yeah,
one's an international standard, so you know, with lots of county players. So.
Yes, no, it's good. As we discussed before, you know, cricket is growing everywhere, especially in Europe. So you will see more and more teams coming out of Europe. Hopefully, you know, at world stage.
Who's the one team in the next 5 years that you think will break through from the European circuit to be a regular in the T20 World Cup? Forget about the one day, but like in the T20 circuit, do you think there's a team that might just stand out?
So Jersey is a very good team. They went to the 50 overs qualifiers, and they're very good. So I was thinking of them, you know, being very close to the world stage. But just looking at the Italian team now, with all these professionals, and I also saw that Joe Burns, you know, the Aussie opener, he might be also qualified next year to play for Italy.
So you heard it here first. If you see the Italian cricket team being mentioned a lot more in the next year or two, it's because, you know, they're mostly English or Aussie players.
Yeah, so, you know, I think they will be a strong team if they get all these players, you know, playing regularly for Italy. And, So,
and Italians love their sport, so anything to, you know, keep them going, that's fantastic. So, yeah, that's good. That's really good to hear. That was really my, like, I know it's going to grow, but where or what teams will probably be like the standout ones in the future? And an Italian team, like, I agree with you, would be the one that stands out. Right, that was the T20 World Cup, short and sweet. Shall we move on to the next one?
Yeah, next one. What you want to discuss
there's a lot of Test cricket being played, right? There's so much Test cricket being played. But before we go to the Test cricket, you know, it wouldn't be fair of us to not cover women's cricket in a bad light as well. When something bad happens, we should cover it. And you've got a smile on your face.
Are you talking about the Bangladesh, India?
So do you want to maybe just highlight what happened for those people who are listening or watching? What happened in the India versus Bangladesh women's series, the one-day series that just happened?
So India is touring Bangladesh for a 3 ODI series, if I'm not wrong, and the matches have been very, very tight.
Yeah.
And we expected India to win easily because they're one of the top teams. But Bangladesh played really well, and the last ODI, I think they needed only like less than 30 with 5 or 6 wickets in hands, and the match ended in a tie. And the Indian captain, she was not very happy with some of the decisions.
The umpiring.
Yeah, some of the decisions. And yeah, she expressed her views post-match. So yeah, it was a bit controversial.
Do you know what she said? Roughly what she said?
She if I'm not wrong, she said something like, next time we come to Bangladesh, we have to prepare for this kind of decision from the umpires.
And then during the trophy presentation, she said, why doesn't the umpire come and join us in the trophy presentation as well?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
And I was like, wow, that's pretty bad. Well, first of all, there was pretty bad cricket or a bad cricket form from India. The women's team, someone got a wicket and the bat went through the stumps and like took all 3 stumps out.
It was her. It was the captain.
It was the captain who was like, after the wicket, she's like, just like hit all the stumps out the ground with her bat, which is really bad, just not cool. And then at the end, during the presentation, to say, why isn't the umpire here to take this trophy as well? Is awful.
Yeah.
There are lots of people on Twitter and lots of people internationally saying that she should be banned for an X amount of time. I think she will be banned. Those kind of comments are just not good. And sometimes they come out of frustrations because of what's just happened. And she probably didn't expect to be in a situation like that, to be in the 3rd series so close and then lose because of a couple of decisions. Quite frankly, India are a better team and should have won and wrapped it up much earlier. So the fact that it's gotten tighter and tighter and the screws have tightened on the captain, she just doesn't have the call like MS Dhoni. No one does. So she just lost it.
Yeah, she lost it.
So yeah, I just wanted to cover that because that's just something that you don't see much of generally in cricket now, you know. So for it to happen in the women's game was quite surprising. I was taken back by that.
There's always something happening when teams touring Bangladesh, be it men's cricket, women's cricket, you know, it's always a place where a lot of controversy is happening.
Yeah, so that was pretty interesting. But now that we've kind of mentioned the only other thing that's going on outside of the Test cricket arena, let's start with Pakistan, Sri Lanka.
Yeah, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, we talked about this in our last podcast. They won their first test. They lost about 6 wickets, but they chased, I think, less than 150, so which was quite good cricket from Pakistan. Pakistan cricket seems to have good time in Sri Lanka at the moment. The second test, Sri Lanka are all out for 160 or something, and they are 145 for 2. Pakistan A team won the Emerging Cup.
So the Emerging Asia Cup is going on, right? The final, India played against Pakistan. Pakistan won
easily,
comfortably.
Yeah.
They scored over 300 and India scored 250 all out or something.
It was very similar to the ICC Champions Trophy final.
Oh, really?
In terms of score, yeah. So they scored like 350 or something. India all out for 180. So yeah, Pakistan cricket is having a good time in Sri Lanka at the moment.
It's good to see because they have so much talent.
Yeah.
Pakistan has so much talent. Gully cricket is fantastic in Pakistan, and they have like stars from literally every corner of the country. So it's great to see, and some of those emerging players. Why is it called the Emerging Asia Cup?
No idea, to be honest. And it's supposed to be include players who are, you know,
over the age.
No, I think it's players who are like just waiting to be selected for the
national teams.
National team, the A teams, you know, this kind of thing. So
Sai Sudarshan was playing in that. He scored a century, right?
all the teams, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, they all had players who already had international experience.
Yeah.
India was the only team who had a very young team with no international experience. But they still did well. They come to the finals. But like the senior team, I don't understand why you win the toss against Pakistan, like in the ICC Champions Trophy, and you field first.
India has this thing going since the late 2000s, where winning the toss and batting first is just not an option.
Yeah. It happened 2003 World Cup, we got smashed.
Yeah.
It happened on the ICC Champions Trophy, we got smashed. The only time we chased successfully in a final was the World Cup 2011 when with Dhoni and Yuvraj finishing the match.
And then the last T20 when Kohli won us against the Pakistan game. It wasn't a final or anything, but you know.
Yeah. I feel anytime against Pakistan, runs on the board. That's what India should do,
So that's going on at the moment in Sri Lanka. But going back to the test match, Pakistan are playing really well.
Pakistan are playing really well. One of the things which is really good to see is even in Sri Lanka, it's Pakistan's fast bowlers who are taking all the wickets.
Yeah.
It's Shaheen and Naseem. They're just, taking all the top orders wickets. And they look like a really good team, So hopefully this time they can come to the World Test Championship final Last year they were well placed, but they lost against Australia and England.
In England, yeah.
In Pakistan.
In Pakistan, so that is...
And then they lost the opportunity to qualify to the final.
Maybe the moment got better of them back then, because it's the first time there has been, like, the first time Australia and England went to Pakistan to play. So the big moment, right? It has been it's been over a decade since anyone played in Pakistan.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe. But they're looking good. This team looks good.
Hopefully they do well and they progress further in the World Test Championship this time around than before. I just want to see India and Pakistan play a World Test Championship final.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Pakistan cricket, and hopefully we can see India playing more Test match against Pakistan.
I don't think any Indian person who has played cricket at any level, or just generally people who like cricket who don't like Pakistan cricket. Like my mum into cricket loves Pakistani cricketers like Shahid Afridi, Wasim Akram, Waqar Younis. She's like Afridi's hair is like this, and like when I was younger, she's like, you gotta grow your hair like that. So I think there is a big, and of course they grew up watching that, right? Back in the day, India Pakistan used to play all the time. Even up until recently, it used to play all the time. Test matches used to be a regular occurrence. We're just deprived of it, and it's a shame. And the only time we'd get to see it as a World Test Championship, right? So
Asia Cup or World Cup, that's the only time we're seeing. But
which is good, right? I think you don't want too much. In India, sometimes there's just a bit too much cricket. At least now, that when India-Pakistan playing, there's like, yes, there's too much cricket, but this is big. So do you think you can ever have India-Pakistan? Is that too much? Like, if India and Pakistan play too many times, do you think you'll be bored?
Yeah, I think I'll be bored if they play too often.
Yeah.
Which happens now with India and Sri Lanka. Like in the last few years, they played like so many times against Sri Lanka. And
sometimes you don't even know.
You don't even know, yeah. And sometimes they even send like the B team.
Yeah.
Because of the scheduling and everything.
Yeah.
No, I feel they're not playing enough. That for sure. Recently, because of like political issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully, they can at least play some series, Test series, especially between India and Pakistan. So, yeah, let's see what they do in the future.
They're going to win this second test?
Yeah, for sure.
Easy?
Yeah, easy, I think.
Yeah. Agreed.
They're 145 for 2.
They've got another few days to bat and then declare an innings, probably win by an innings. So that's Pakistan, Sri Lanka. Shall we move on to India and West Indies?
India, West Indies.
Ongoing. Rain delay, fifth day. India need 8 wickets. Whether they'll get them or not is questionable, because the Indian coaching team, when they're given a wicket like this, they're like, no one should play on a road. Well, it is what it is. So the biggest news is that Kohli finally has got his century.
He got his 29th century. He played really well. I watched his innings, and it was a very good innings from Kohli. What was good to see was his application. It wasn't the easiest wicket to bat on, but his application, his running between the wickets was good to see.
Never bad.
Yeah.
It's never bad in the first place. He's one of the best Indian or world cricketers between the wickets.
Yeah, but for a guy who played so much cricket, in that weather, it was very hot and humid. You could see like players like sweating, and he was still pushing for 2s.
Yeah,
like a T20 match, and that's what I like about Kohli, And it was a very good innings. Look, his Test form was bad in the last few years.
It probably still is bad.
Yeah, but if you take all format, for me, he's still the best in the world.
Yeah.
What he did against Pakistan in that.
Oh, I don't think anyone can do that.
Yeah.
Imagine, there is one comparison, which is that Ben Stokes.
Yeah.
He always turns up against Australia. And that's the kind of how English people feel about, Ben Stokes and how he plays against the Aussies as Headingley in 2019, and he won them the match. That's the kind of, I guess, reaction you get with Kohli and Pakistan again in the T20 match that was played. I tell you, that match, I was watching it, and I wasn't watching it because I thought, we've lost. Oh no, we've lost. Oh no, and I lost it until the last moment. It's fantastic. Yes, I think there is a lot of debate on where Kohli ranks in all of the formats. I think if you take away the test format, he is the best. In the T20 world and the one-day world, there isn't anyone who can come.
Yeah, for me, if you consider all format, for me, he's the best player in the world. What he did in that innings against Pakistan, Smith cannot do it. Joe Root cannot do it.
No.
Babar Azam cannot do it. Williamson cannot do it.
No.
So if you take the Fab Four at the moment, the only player who is a bit closer to Kohli at the moment, when you speak about Test, ODI and T20, might be Babar Azam.
Yeah.
Otherwise, great innings by Kohli, and good to see him, back in the runs.
Yeah, I think it's always good to see him back in the runs just before the World Cup. We need him. India needs him if they are to win the World Cup. So it's great to see. Others have also scored a few runs. Sharma is also getting a few runs, and the second innings, India scored 100 in how many overs?
12 overs.
I think they're learning. Everyone wants to play baseball.
And I think Pakistan scored 100 in 20 overs against Sri Lanka as well today.
So I'm telling you, Brendan McCullum's got something secret. He's been calling all of his teammates across Pakistan and in all of the T20 leagues he's played in. He's calling them saying, hey, can you please play a little bit like how I want England to play? And then people will realise maybe that's the secret. But the cool thing to see was the love that people have for Kohli, and De Silva's mum, the wicketkeeper. His mum was waiting for Kohli after the 100 and hugged him and greeted him and was grateful to see him. And it's great to see the love that people have in other countries outside of India. If that was India, you'd have 1 million people waiting to hug Kohli. But it's fantastic to see. Did you see the video?
Yeah, it was really nice. I think the wicketkeeper, he was telling Kohli, my mom is there. When he
score
was playing.
100. Yeah, score 100. My mom's watching.
she came to see you, and no, it was good to see. People are looking for Kohli with all his day.
Do you think that's a bit weird though? As a cricketer, if I was playing against someone, I don't want to be I've played competitive cricket, and so have you, right? I don't want to look soft. I want to sledge them. It doesn't matter who it is. Right, I've bowled against so many people, some of the great players who are commentating in the world right now, and I don't at any point want to say oh, good shot or well played.
You don't want to sledge Kohli because he's just going to make 200, so it's better to be nice with him.
That's true.
Yeah.
But
I always felt when Kohli is smiling when he's batting.
Yeah.
He's not in a good mood. I like to see an angry face Kohli.
Aggression.
When he's
you
playing.
think he concentrates better when he's doing that?
I think so.
So do you think India are going to get the 8 wickets remaining?
It depends on the weather. The pitch, there was not much turn, and there was no.
It's a road. It's literally a road because it's like a weird pitch. It's not like it's not a road. It's not a flat wicket. It's not a flat wicket. Agreed. Yeah, you're right. It's not a flat wicket, but it's also nothing is happening.
Yeah, there's nothing for the bowlers as well.
So they're not really getting no pace, no spin. So it's really difficult to get a wicket. And so, do you think 8 wickets is possible now that it's been a rain delay and they haven't started playing the 5th day yet?
If India can bowl, 40 or 50 overs today, maybe they can win the match.
There's going to be. I think they're going to bowl about 70 overs.
Because West Indies, right? They don't have any major players. They're all quite young. So if you put them under pressure,
they are.
So it will be either an India win or a draw. So
you don't think they'll get 282 runs?
No, I don't think so.
No. And that's it for India now.
Yeah, that's it for India now. I think they play for some T20s and ODIs against West Indies. Yeah. But in terms of test match, I think that's it.
I think that's it because everyone's now focusing towards the World Cup, like we've said. Exciting times ahead. Yeah. That's India, West Indies. Shall we move on to the biggest of them all, the Ashes? Shall we talk about the 4th test match and the intro about the rain? There's a reason why we mentioned it. The fourth Test match ended in a draw. And thank God we don't both gamble, because we would have both been wrong.
We were not that far.
No. I think we both wanted England to win, because a 2-2 match will have made the fifth Test match at the Oval fantastic viewing for everybody. Should we go through the Test match? Because I think it was a fantastic Test match.
Yeah, another. We just keep saying in every
Cracker.
podcast.
And I can't believe it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like the last two Test matches we've spoken about. Cricket in Pakistan, Sri Lanka, or West Indies, India, meh. But or you'd expect some fantastic cricket there because someone scored a double or a triple hundred, right? But my God, there was nearly a double hundred here.
Yeah, by Crowley.
Of all people, right? People still doubt him after that 180, by the way. But Brendan McCullum's given his full backing to him. Unanimously said that the way you play cricket, you are likely to get out for some low runs. But when you get in, you're going to go score big. And he did.
Yeah, they identify players like him as an impact player, and on their day, they can destroy.
They can finish a game.
That's what he did. Another good toss won by England. I felt Australia missed on a lot of runs on the first innings.
Really?
They all had a good start, but no one went on and get a big score,
So can we get this out of the way? Who won the toss?
England.
Again,
yeah.
4 in a row.
4 in a row, yeah.
They have had the best of lucks in every Test match. We're just seeding some stuff, everyone, for the podcast. So England won the toss again. They put in Australia for bat, and the weather was with England.
Yeah, the pitch was good to bat.
Yeah.
But there was also something for the bowler on the first day. But Australia, all their batsmen, they got around 30 and 40s and 50s. And,
no one converted.
Yeah, so
no one converted.
317 on that pitch, I think, was a good effort by England.
Yeah. I think Mark Wood, again, standout bowler for England. I just wish they keep him fit and strong and find another person like him to bowl 95.
But why? They knew Ashes is coming, and why, was he not fit for the first match?
Well, he played in the IPL, and I don't know contractually whether they could have just told him not to play in the IPL because the Ashes are coming, right? I think that's what Stokes did with Chennai, because he was in the squad, but he didn't play because he was injured or he was resting or whatever. He's like, I just want to make sure I'm ready for the Ashes and I want to gain experience just by being around people. Or being around Moeen Ali to send him text messages about playing the Test match. Anyway, I think he probably wasn't ready because there is no reason for him to not play.
Yeah,
he's better than Ollie Robinson.
Yeah, he was not fit for the first two tests. Yeah.
No. Yeah. So for him, especially at the pace he bowls at, you've got to be fit, because if something, even the minor thing, is wrong, then I guess.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, he turned up 2 tests late.
Yeah, the 2 they lost.
Yeah.
Mark Wood again, stand out, fantastic spells.
And Chris Wokes as well. We need to mention him because since he came to the side, he also made a lot of impact.
Yeah.
So these 2 guys again took most of the wickets.
Underrated.
Yep.
Chris Wokes is underrated and always has been. Do you think he should have played in front of Ollie Robinson in the first 2 Test matches?
Yeah, and also it was a bit strange. They selected Tong
over Wokes.
Yeah, at Lords, and he has very good records. Yeah, good records at Lords as well, and he can bat as well. So anyway, it's too late now, and they're going to play hopefully the 5th Test, and continue their form.
Yeah, England came into bat, and one of our predictions with Moeen Ali, number 3.
Number 3, yeah.
What a number 3 batsman he is!
And I thought he will score 100. He was playing really well, and second day was the best day to bat.
It was good.
It was good wicket.
Good wicket. The weather was good.
Yeah.
Sun was shining.
And Crowley and Root and Ali, they just broke the Australian bowlers.
I can't believe how quickly they scored these runs. They scored 300 runs in 50 overs.
Yeah.
It was literally like a one-day match. It was incredible.
At some point, the partnership between Root and Crowley, they were going at 10. Yeah. In a test match. And against Australia. That's crazy.
So that's, I guess, the benefit of baseball. Or that's the philosophy that England are trying to build, right? It's great. I can't believe 10 and over.
Yeah. For almost like 12 or 13 overs.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
That's crazy. And they scored what? 597 in 100 overs? So almost 6 and over.
Yeah.
So
in a test match, 600 runs, 6 and over. Wow. That's fantastic.
They just smashed the Australian bowlers. At some point, it was just, someone was bowling and then someone was going to take the ball from the boundary and throwing it back.
Bowling again.
And bowling again.
Going to the boundary. It was like it's like net practice. Just hit the ball and get it. There was another innings that we should mention here, and someone who's been under the spotlight a lot, which is Bairstow. He's been in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons, probably because A, he broke his foot playing golf, and it's his own fault. 2, he's come back from injury, and he's gone walkabout at the crease. So he's been under pressure. And 3,
and his wicket keeping as well.
3, his wicket keeping has been below par. And he came out at the press conference after scoring 99 not out. What a fantastic innings, right? Again, another fantastic innings. And said, I've literally been injured, right? I haven't played Test cricket in a long time. I don't really care about what you have to say, right? This is how I play. This is how I'm going to play, and this is my wicket keeping is going to get better. I'm just a bit rusty. What do you say to that?
Yeah, you know how difficult is wicket keeping. It's not an easy job. It's very difficult, and
especially in a test match.
Yeah, and especially for someone who's coming back from an injury, it's very difficult to get back into the flow, And in this test match, it was his best match. Did you see the catch he took for? Was it Marsh?
Yeah.
Similar catches. He was not even going for them in the first 2 tests.
Yeah.
Because when you come back from injury, you always have the doubt. You're like always half mind. So the more he plays, the more
he's going to get better.
Yeah,
he will get better over time for sure.
He had a really good test match with the gloves and also with the bat. With the bat, we always knew he's going to turn up.
Yeah,
he's a really good batsman, and that's the main reason that England doesn't want to drop him, is because of his batting and the impact.
Who's going to come in if he leaves? Bloody hell! It's not like we have a list of not a list of players, but like a group of players waiting to come and take his place.
You said that, but England have so many wicket keepers, like
folks.
Sure,
I mean, yes, as a wicket keeper, yes.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the wicket keeping aspect. I'm talking about the batting aspect.
I see. Yeah.
There's not many better batsmen out there in the English county circuit who
Pope,
can come and take his place.
But he's injured, so maybe
he was in the
replace
semi. He's the vice captain of the team. So if he was not injured, he would play, right? So, yeah, I think he did basically shut down a lot of his critics, or at least just say, hey, listen, I'm just still recovering and it's going to take a little while longer. Just be patient to the English fans.
I feel it was just outside noise. I think in the England camp, they always had faith in Bairstow.
I love how the English team is going about business. Even though they've lost the Ashes, they have just shut the noise from outside. People uneducated, unnecessary, no experience like us coming and giving opinions about anyone and everyone. They've just shut it down. They've just said, listen, I don't care if you're Ricky Ponting or Sunil Gavaskar, I don't care. This is how we're going to play. This is the brand. And someone mentioned to me that, you know what, they're right. It is worse to have a cricket game like the one we had than to lose. It's worse to draw a game like this than to lose a game.
This is their first draw since
he took over.
Yeah, since McCullum took over. So no, I like the brand of English cricket, but I agree with you what you said in our previous podcast that if England wants to continue this brand of cricket, they need aggressive bowlers as well.
Yeah.
You can't just have some aggressive batsman and then play this brand of cricket. You need also to complement this with the bowling as well.
Yeah. So hopefully Jofra Archer comes back.
Yeah. To be honest with you, with this injury, I feel Test cricket is almost over for him.
Yeah. So we need to find someone who bowls 90 plus.
Yeah. England need. It's very similar to the Indian Test team. I feel England need to build a bowling unit now. Very similar to the Indian team.
We should do like a talent show where we travel around the UK with a speed gun and just find people who bowl 90 plus. And just, it doesn't matter how shit they bowl.
Because, Anderson might be his last test.
Well, yeah.
It will be his last test,
Yeah.
I feel. Broad, he's not young.
No.
Stokes, he can't bowl anymore.
No.
And Wood, same thing. Archer, same thing.
Wokes will probably play. He will now become like a shoe-in, but he doesn't bowl.
Yeah, and he's not young as well. He's like mid-30s, is he?
Yeah.
Early 30s at least.
Early 30s.
So it's very similar to India. Indian fast bowling. Bumrah is gone. Shami is old. And they wouldn't have Siraj. So they need to find some.
Well, they have at least a little bit more of a pipeline.
Yeah.
Looking at like the IPL circuit, there are a few more who can bowl. Like Khan can bowl. What's his name?
Umran Malik.
Umran Malik, not Khan. Sorry, Umran Malik is one that should have gone to West Indies really, but they've got a few more up their sleeve. Maybe England just need to give some of the others a little bit of extra playtime.
Yeah, they need to find some. So they identified Josh Tong as a future potential. So I feel they need to find a few more.
From the county circuit.
Yeah. So they can still continue to play this kind of brand of cricket,
Yeah. Going back to the test match, that was the England innings. They scored nearly 600 runs at a solid rate.
Yeah.
And everyone played fantastically. I wanted Root to get 100. I wanted Bears to get 100. I wanted everyone to get 100, and they nearly did. Who was the one disappointment for you in the English team?
You mean what, in terms of batting concern?
As a whole, in the first 2 days, whether you take the bowling or the batting.
For me, I was a bit disappointed with James Anderson again.
Yeah.
Playing at his local county
ground.
And
he apparently doesn't have a very good record though.
Yeah, but I was thinking, as he didn't do well in the previous 2 tests, and he had a break as well.
Yeah.
So I was looking for a good match from James Anderson. So that was a bit of a disappointment because I want to see the real Jimmy before he retires. I don't want him to retire on a sad note.
Yeah, no. I think for me, my question is around Moeen Ali and whether he will stay in the English Test team setup after the Ashes.
Yeah, it's a good question. It depends. It depends what they want to do with him, because they're going to India soon for a test tour.
Yeah.
So they need few spinners, and apart from him and Rehan Ahmed, because they need a spinner who can bat now with this, baseball approach.
Well, what about the original
Leach?
Leach
Leach will be there, but they need at least 2 spinners.
two
spinners,
minimum
so
2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah, so it will depend on his fitness, and if he's still interested, maybe he's going to retire and then come back again. Who knows?
It's one way to not play rubbish cricket. Is just go there for the good test matches and then retire afterwards.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm a big fan of Moeen Ali. I like his cricket, and I just hope he can play test cricket.
Labuschagne finally got a century.
Yes,
he finally scored the runs that he was waiting for the entire series. You go on the internet and you see him or tweets about him and how hard he has worked this Ashes series, and he finally got the breakthrough.
Yeah, we talked about him. He played quite well in the previous test matches, but he was just giving his wickets, which is not. We're not used to see this from him. He used to score these 30s, 40s, and 50s and get out
Like cheap wicket.
Yeah, cheap wicket.
Yeah.
He got out a few times from Moeen Ali, just playing some, bad shots.
Yeah.
And what time, to score 100, because England had 30 overs, and with the rain, right? When there's rain, there's delay. As a batsman, it's very difficult to go in, to concentrate.
Stop.
Yeah. You just wait.
You say this, the wicket of Warner in the first Test innings happened straight after a delay because of some shining piece of metal that was reflecting off of the back of bowler's hand, and there was like a 15-minute delay, and boom, gone. So we all know it's true. It's like, when you're in, you're concentrated, all good. If there's a break, you've got to take time. It takes time to come back in again. So to go in and out and take a break and come back and still have that concentration level is...
No, it's very difficult. And they were under pressure as well, because we were all expecting England to come in and, take all those wickets and win the Test. So and he played well. He played with merit. He scored the runs because it was a tricky situation. This is kind of situation where if you just block or look to block everything, you'll get out.
The pressure's going to get you.
Yeah. So you have to just play your shots. And the pitch was still good.
Yeah,
but it was more the situation which was difficult.
The
pressure on Australia. But great innings from Marnus, and and it helped Australia to retain the Ashes.
Yeah, and then the rain came.
It was kind of expected. A lot of people were asking why England didn't declare sooner, but I felt England did everything right in this match.
Yeah. I think so too. I think England played like they planned to play, and they did play much better than the Aussies in this Test match. It is just a shame that the weather won this Test match. There are a lot of different solutions that have been thrown out after this Ashes Test match, which was drawn because of the weather. Some people are saying that they should just extend the session to night time and play with the pink ball. Some people are saying they should have a reserve 6th day. Some people are saying there should be a 6th Test match. Where do you stand? What do you think the solution is for the rain?
The best solution will be covered grounds. But
we'll play in the O2 Arena.
But it's very expensive, and but that's the beauty of Test cricket as well. You have to take into account all these factors, and
it isn't. You're right. It isn't just. You're not just going out there and playing cricket.
Yeah.
Right. There is the tactical aspect, which you and both me agree that Stokes did right tactically this time. But maybe we're wrong, because if they knew the weather was going to come in, maybe they should have declared earlier, right? So you're talking about the tactical aspect of declaring or doing something different because the weather is coming. Unfortunately, the weather only comes here in the UK. Nowhere else do you play cricket in a Test match and there's rain. Rarely. It does happen in India and sometimes in Australia, but rarely in Australia in the summer. So it's a phenomena that's specific to the UK. How do you solve this British problem? We're going to solve it in this podcast. How do you solve this?
We need to involve, the climate
experts
on this one.
Like, can we just stop? We don't want rain during the summer in England. I don't want any rain.
No, it's unfortunate, but we can't control the weather. But saying that England played aggressively because they knew it's going to rain the last two days, and same for India when they scored 100 in 12 overs because they knew there will be rain in the match as well. So,
but do you think they should play? Do you think they should play in the evening?
I think if the weather permits, if it's still sunny, if still the light is good. Why not?
I mean like nighttime play. I mean like basically it is no longer 5 days. It's 5 days and night. And you go until you ball your 90 overs, because Aussies are renowned for not being very slow. They're being very slow in their bowling. Like, do you just say, listen, you bowl 90 overs in a day, regardless of how long it takes? And then if it means that you finish at 8 p.m. at night and you have to bowl 20 overs with a pink ball, or if you finish at 4 o'clock because you're bowling 2 spinners the whole day?
No, I think it's going to be difficult because, all the logistic, and if you play with the pink ball, he's going to be a new pink ball?
No, the same over pink ball, right? So if it's 40 overs gone in the red ball, you find a 40 overall.
Yeah, but the two balls are different. And
one's a Dukes, one's a Kookaburra.
Yeah, and one's going to like a swing like crazy. No, I think, this kind of things, unfortunately, we can't do much. We just, need to adapt. And we were talking about this draw, but if England, played a bit better in the first 2 tests, they would have been happier with the rain, maybe, because they would have won the Ashes.
Yeah, there's a lot of tweets going around talking about the 7 or 9 or 11 test match where England retained it, but the circumstances were very different. England was celebrating after being 2-0 up. That is not the case here. It's 2-1, and it's quite a tight test match, so it's understandable that the English people are complaining and whining about it, because they feel they've been done over by their own weather gods.
Yeah, you can understand the disappointment, but I repeat again, England gave the first 2 test match to Australia.
Yeah,
the declaration in the first test, the second test where I think in the first innings they didn't bowl well on a green wicket.
Yeah,
and also with the bat they were 270 for 5 or something, and they were all out for 320 or something. Mm-hmm. So that's where they missed the Ashes.
Yeah, I think we go back to the point that I made earlier, which was that the cricketing gods have been with them, because they won every single test match, toss for every single test match, and they've had the right weather as well.
They had the best conditions.
They've had the best conditions
for most of the test matches. Yeah.
So I agree with you. I think it's a shame, but it's what you get.
Yeah,
and England have again not won the test or Ashes for now forever, right? When's the last time they won the Ashes? Because Australia retained it this time, that means they won it back home. I know in 2019 they retained the Ashes. So that means before that in Australia they won.
A long time ago, let's put it like that. But, congrats to Australia. They didn't play, as you said, they didn't play their best cricket yet, but they managed to, stay there and above.
And somehow win. Their players just did really well.
Yeah.
So we've got one more test match.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about what you think is going to happen in the 5th test match?
It's very soon. It's starting on Thursday. Yeah. So the weather is going to play a part as well, I think.
Shit. It's again literally raining outside. So, yeah.
So they're playing not very far from here. So I just hope this time Australia win the toss, and I want to see them bowl against England on maybe good conditions for bowling, and see how the England batsmen play them.
Yeah.
But I feel this will be kind of an easy test for Australia, because they have no pressure now.
No pressure.
They retain the Ashes.
Go out and just enjoy themselves and play like they want to play, which means they're likely going to win quite easily.
That's what I feel as well.
Yeah.
I feel as they have no pressure, and they just need to go and enjoy themselves.
Do you think they're going to play Todd Hamilton?
The off spinner?
Yeah.
Todd Murphy?
Todd Murphy, not Hamilton. I've invented a new spinner, Todd Hamilton.
To be honest with you, I liked their team combination the last test.
No, that is just not right. The oval is going to turn.
Yeah.
But maybe they're going to follow what they did, what India did at the World Test Championship final.
Yeah, maybe they will drop Green and include Murphy. That's the only change I can see.
In England, I think they'll stay the same.
They might give one last test to Anderson,
again.
What do you feel?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think they're going to stick with the same because I think Robinson is probably injured. He was injured, so they might just keep him out, and there's no point risking anyone because they've lost anyway. So yeah, I think England will remain the same.
Do you expect any communication coming from James Anderson soon, today or tomorrow?
He should really. I mean, how old is James Anderson now? Sorry,
41.
And he's decided to not retire. Well, he's 40 years and 359 days.
Okay.
How is that? How many days in a year?
365.
So he's nearly 41.
Yeah.
He's going to be maybe he'll retire on his birthday.
Yeah.
Let's put it like that. I thought there was only 354 days in a year, but clearly got it wrong. He's got to retire. Like, this has to be his last test match. I don't see him lasting. First of all, he's useless in India.
Yeah.
Right? He's just going to go out there for no reason whatsoever. And the next Ashes is a way away.
If he's not enjoying the pitches in England, there's no point for James Anderson to go to India.
So James Anderson will probably retire at the end of this Ashes Test match. What an absolutely amazing career he's had, and I'm sure he's going to play a part in some way in whether it's in the coaching aspect or the television aspect. He's going to remain in the cricketing industry for a while. But what a fantastic bowler, and we don't get many like that anymore, right? So, so yeah, that's probably going to happen. And he's probably going to end up losing the last test match.
Yeah. Let's see what's happening. So Australia win? Are we going for
comfortably?
Comfortably? Okay.
Comfortably, Australia win.
3-1, sorry.
3-1. And first time they win in Australia. In England.
Since 2005? No.
No, that's when they won. Maybe a long
2007?
2001.
2001. Yeah, wow.
21 years, 22 years.
Wow. Okay.
That's it.
That's our prediction.
That's our prediction. That's the end of this episode number 6 on the 24th of July. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm Aaron, and you're Sohil. And we'll see you in the next one.
See you next week.